On Christmas Eve 2002, a young woman vanished without a trace. 8 months pregnant, glowing, ready to become a mother for the first time. Her husband reported her missing that night, told police she'd gone for a walk with their dog and never came back. He seemed devastated, cooperative, desperate to find his wife. The community rallied. Volunteers searched everywhere. Candlelight vigils lit up the California night. Everyone prayed for Laci Peterson to come home. But as detectives dug deeper, the perfect husband's story began to crack. And what they found beneath the surface would shock a nation. This is the story of Laci Peterson. Laci Rocha grew up in Modesto, California, a small agricultural city in the Central Valley. She was the kind of person everyone wanted to be around. Bright smile, infectious energy, the type who remembered your birthday and showed up with homemade treats. In 1994, she met Scott Peterson at a cafe in Morro Bay. He was handsome, charming, worked in agriculture. They fell hard and fast. Friends described them as the golden couple, always laughing, always together. They married in 1997, built a life in Modesto. Laci worked as a substitute teacher, while Scott landed a job as a fertilizer salesman. They bought a modest 3-bedroom house on Covina Avenue, got a golden retriever named Mackenzie. By 2002, they were ready for the next chapter. Laci got pregnant. They were having a boy. She'd already picked the name, Connor. Laci was radiant. She decorated the nursery, registered for baby gifts, told everyone who'd listen about her son. She was due February 10th, 2003. Everything seemed perfect. But Scott Peterson was living a double life. December 24th, 2002, Christmas Eve morning. According to Scott, he woke up around 8 a.m. Laci was already up, wearing black pants and a white shirt. She was mopping the floor, he said, planning to walk the dog and then go grocery shopping. Scott told police he decided to go fishing at the Berkeley Marina, about 90 miles from their home, solo, on Christmas Eve, while his very pregnant wife stayed home alone. He said he left around 9:30 a.m. When he returned that evening, around 4:30 p.m., Laci was gone. Her car was in the driveway, her purse was in the house, the dog was found wandering the neighborhood with his leash still attached. Scott called Laci's mom Sharon at 5:17 p.m. He sounded concerned but calm. Asked if she'd seen Laci. Sharon immediately sensed something was wrong. She raced to the house, called 911 at 5:48 p.m. The Modesto Police Department arrived within minutes. They started piecing together the timeline, and immediately things didn't add up. Scott said he'd been fishing in the San Francisco Bay, but he had no fish. Couldn't remember if he was fishing for sturgeon or striped bass. His receipts showed he bought a 2-day fishing license. Odd for someone planning a quick Christmas Eve trip. And here's what made detectives' ears perk up. Scott had told Laci's family he'd been playing golf that day, not fishing. He changed his story. The search for Laci began immediately. Hundreds of volunteers combed through parks, fields, and neighborhoods. Divers searched the local waterways. The Rocha family pleaded on television for Laci's safe return. Scott appeared at press conferences, but something was off. He seemed detached, unemotional. He referred to Laci in the past tense multiple times, something that made investigators take notice. She was amazing, he'd say. Not is, was. Behind the scenes, detectives were already suspicious. They started surveilling Scott, tapping his phones, following his every move. and what they discovered would blow the case wide open. On December 30th, just 6 days after Laci disappeared, a woman named Amber Frey walked into the Modesto Police Department. She had a story to tell. Amber was a 27-year-old massage therapist and single mother from Fresno. In November 2002, she'd been set up on a blind date with Scott Peterson. He told her he was...
Amber Frey testified for the prosecution. She played the recorded phone calls. The jury heard Scott's voice, cold, detached, manipulative. It was devastating. After deliberating for 7 days, the jury reached a verdict. November 12, 2004, guilty on both counts. Scott Peterson showed no emotion. In December 2004, he was sentenced to death. He was sent to San Quentin State Prison to await execution. The Rocha family finally had justice, but they'd never have Laci or Connor back. For nearly 2 decades, Scott Peterson has maintained his innocence. He's filed multiple appeals, all denied. But in 2020, his death sentence was overturned due to jury selection issues. He was resentenced to life in prison without parole. In 2024, the Los Angeles Innocence Project took on his case, claiming new evidence could prove his innocence. They're seeking new DNA testing. As of now, Scott remains in prison and no new trial has been granted. Laci Peterson would have turned 50 in 2025. Connor would be 22 years old. Sharon Rocha, Laci's mother, has spent the last 2 decades keeping her daughter's memory alive. She wrote a book. She speaks about domestic violence. She fights to keep Scott behind bars. Because for Sharon and the Rocha family, the truth is clear. Scott Peterson is exactly where he belongs. The case remains a stark reminder that monsters don't always look like monsters. Sometimes they look like the perfect husband, the charming guy next door, the man who smiles in family photos, until the mask slips and the truth comes out. This was the story of Laci Peterson, a young mother who never got to hold her son, and a family that will never stop fighting for her memory.